All right, so today we're going to start out with, we're in Unit 3 activities now. And the first thing we're going to start out with is I'm going to ask you this question. Don't answer it yet. I want you to think about it, and then I want to see hands for people that want to take that want that chance to answer this question. Think about a challenge you have in your life right now. It may be a problem with a friend or family member, a class or subject, or a sport or activity. Write about your challenge. What is one area of that challenge where you are not feeling successful, but you would like to be successful? So think about an area right now that you have a challenge in your life. Anybody remember what a challenge is? What's a challenge? Yes?
A challenge is when you push yourself and answer harder questions.
Okay. It's something in our life that might be difficult, like a test, like us looking in the mirror to assess ourselves and see where we are. Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Take a minute to think about a challenge that you have in your life right now. And again, it can be a problem with a friend, family member, or whatever. And then I want you to do this. What is one area of that challenge where you are not feeling successful, but you would like to be successful? Okay? Yes. Okay.
I bet my friend.
Your friend? Okay. Okay. What area in that relationship are you not feeling successful?
I feel successful, but I feel successful.
You do feel like you're successful with
I
it?
just feel friends.
Okay, what's the challenge? You don't want to talk about the challenge in the
I don't
open?
want to talk about challenge. I
What's-
want to be smart and be good at school and try my best.
Oh, okay. So it's a challenge it's a challenge for you to be smart and to be good and try your best. Okay. Janet,
I would put my brother.
your brother is a challenge. Yeah, because he has some difficult issues.
Yeah, he go crazy.
Right.
So get back to what I was saying. I'll put that on my brother. I just want to behave in school, get my education, try to get a job, help my friends and family, help anybody that try to get a house. I forget. Tell them that what type of things that you need to get to the house.
Okay. Now, going back to your brother, though, that's an area that you want to be successful in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's some things that you can do
Yes.
to help be more successful with it?
Yes, I give him Play-Doh so you can, relax.
Okay. Okay.
He likes Play-Doh.
Right. So you're doing those things, you're teaching them some of the strategies that he can use to overcome. That's good. That's a good big sister. All right, anybody else? Challenge that you're dealing with? Nathaniel?
Doing tricks on a bike.
Say that again?
Doing tricks on a bike.
Oh, okay. It's a challenge doing tricks on your bike. What can you do so far?
I can ride with no hands.
Okay.
I can ride without keeping my feet on the pedal.
Okay. Now, what are some of the things? What are some of the things that you don't feel successful with right now, but you want to do with your bike?
Surfing.
Say that again. Say that again.
Surf.
Surf.
Yeah, surf on the bike. Yes. When you don't have no hands,
Oh, okay.
You just let the bike
Okay.
ride by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, and you like, I can do that.
So it's a challenge. It's a challenge doing that.
Yeah, and I want to get an engine and get something to put on my back tire. So when I go to the beach, I can just ride in the water.
Okay. So let's do the first one though. So what can you do to keep getting better with that?
Try harder.
Keep trying. Keep practicing. All right. Caleb.
Okay, so yesterday there was this one boy that was being mean to me and my friend. My friend's name is Major. And there's a kid named Sydney,
Okay?
and I tried to make nice with Sydney and his little nephew, but then they start fighting me. So my mom said if they mess with me or Isaiah, well, his real name is Isaiah, but his nickname is Mayor.
Gotcha.
So, and my mom said if they mess with me or Isaiah, I can fight them. And yesterday, they start talking crap, and so I was gonna fight them, but then they went home.
Okay. Now, let's go back to it. Is this something you can do other than fight them, though? Have you ever tried a solution that doesn't deal with fighting?
Or I tried, but we tried to tell them that we even told them they can't play with me no more. But then they wanna start messing with me on the bus.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about some strategies. I see a few people walking around, and I said if you walk around, you're going to get negative points, and you're not going to get what Miss Farley
I'm over here.
told you to give y'all. So you need to move back to where you were. You need to move back to where you were. Okay? Or I'm going to make the decision, and I'm going to keep what she gave me to give you. And if you move one more time, you can forget it. Move back to where you were. Okay, and Caleb, I'm going to help you with that. We're going to talk about some strategies that we can use, because one of the problems with a lot of our young black people is we are aggressive. We think that problem solving is always fighting, you know, and so that's why we grew up, we get jobs, and we end up fighting on the job and get fired. You know, and this real life stuff. You know, I've talked to young people all the time that had good jobs and they lost a good job because they fight. And so we have to learn how to resolve our conflict without being aggressive. Okay? And I'm not disputing what your mother taught you, but we have to learn non-aggressive ways to deal with disputes, because we're going to have those all of our life. And right now, where it doesn't hurt you as much, but when you get older and you start working and you start having to work with other grown people and you have a boss and you have a manager, you know, those things right there do not work out well. So we have to learn nonviolent ways to problem solve and deal with our conflict. All right? Because I have difficulties with a lot of people as well, but I can't fight them to resolve it. You know, I know I'm big enough to, you know, be able to bully my way through some stuff, but I don't think that's the right way to do it. You know, so we'll talk about some things that we can do in that area. All right, the next thing is this right here. Nathan, you're listening to me, right? The next thing is this. What happens to the brain when you learn something new? Okay, let me start back here with Nathan.
It grows.
Okay, the brain grows, okay.
When you learn something new, your brain gets bigger, and the branches, like the dendrites and the synapse, they grow bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, so our connections get bigger, Jan.
The brain gets smarter and stronger. If you have something new that you're thinking inside your head, it gets bigger, even bigger, and even bigger. It gets stronger and stronger.
Good. Okay.
Go back that you see a problem. It's like a problem like 9 times 9. Take another problem. But when it's a hard problem, like when it's 100 times 200,
Right. Right, and so we don't run from those heart problems, we just try to get help, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so always.
And they make it bigger.
Right,
Bigger, bigger.
right, so put your hands up. And now, remember, because the brain is like a muscle, okay? And when we work out, we're creating bigger muscles, and that's how our brain is. When we try new things, when we try to learn something new, those connections in the brain grow, and you know, we get smarter. The connections get larger and larger, and we get smarter. That's good, man. Y'all remember that. That's good. The study of the summer camp rats and the couch potato rats showed what? What did that show? Yes, Nathan.
The good side, the good side, you have to get stuff, learning things. And the other side is just going, out.
So when you say good side, you're talking about the summer camp rats, right?
Yeah.
And then the bad ones is the couch potatoes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because the couch potato rats only was given food, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the summer camp rats, they had what?
Smartness in their head. And
Well, because Nathan, they had what? They was given what? Toys?
Toys, they were learning new things.
Right, they was given things that they had to figure out. And those things that they had to figure out caused the connections in their brain to grow. So we don't want to be couch potato rats. Couch potato rats are the ones that didn't have anything to stimulate their growth. Okay, they didn't have anything challenging, so they just sat there on the couch watching football on Sunday and didn't do anything else. All right, so we want to be like the summer camp rats, where we're challenging ourselves, we're learning, okay, and we're engaging with other people. Number 3, when they studied the brains of the cab drivers in London, they found that. What did the study of the cab drivers in London show us? Yes.
That in London it's hard to travel around.
Okay, and it's hard for the cab drivers to know where to go because they don't have the numbers on the houses, right? So you get a street name, but you have no numbers. So they have to rely on their what? Their memory. They have to rely on their memory, okay? So if they knew one number, they had to go to one spot on that same street and it was one number, and they know 2 doors down, the numbers go up. So they had to rely on their memory. And because of that, when they studied their brains, it was what?
That was not healthy.
Now, it was very healthy. They had a lot more connections than people that were not cab drivers. Okay? So they knew that they were creating a sense of more of a sense of intelligence by growing those connections, just because they had to remember so much. And when they studied the adults practicing the sounds of new languages, what did they find? Adults practicing the sounds of new languages.
Man, people learn new stuff, like babies.
Okay. Okay. And they also found that their brains were growing at a rapid rate. Okay. The connections in their brain were growing at a rapid rate. Yes.
Their brains can be bigger. When you have kids and cousins and sisters and brothers, and they learn something new and something else.
Okay. So let's just say, because it's really not that the brain is growing, it's the connections in the brain that are growing and making us smarter. Okay? So, we have these questions. You can grow new neurons when you are learning new things. Is that true or false? By raising your hand.
True.
Raising your hand. Yes, Jen?
True.
True, you can learn. You can grow new neurons when you are learning new things. Number 6, babies have more connections in their brains than grown-ups.
False.
False? Okay. Okay, what you think?
True.
Okay. What you think?
False. True.
True? Okay, well, it's actually It's actually not necessarily true that they have more connections, but what happens, what they see, is from the time that they're babies to they're 2 years old, those connections are multiplied more than, say, an adult. You know, because when you're young, man, you start learning stuff. You actually learn a language, you know, when you're young, because you come out not speaking any language. But all of a sudden, you learn the language of your parents. So when you're a baby, you know, those connections are racing. They're growing. So by the time that you're, you know, 4 or 5, man, your connections has exploded. And as an adult, you know, our connections don't grow that rapid. Even though, no matter how old we are, we still grow those connections, but they don't grow as rapid as you do when you're small. Okay?
Yeah, I heard that babies, their brains are growing at a fast rate. That
Right.
when they get 5 or 6, then it starts.
Right. Right.
So that's
Right.
pretty fast.
Right. But that's what the video showed us. Is that from, you know, from birth to when they get like 2 years old, I mean, it's growing. It's growing rapidly. It's growing rapidly. So, and the reason it is because, again, babies are motivated. They're motivated to learn. Not yet. They're motivated to learn. Because babies see, like if it's a baby that is just crawling and they have a brother or a sister, you know, right. And then sometimes, you know how, you know, your big brothers play with you, they'll hit you and then they'll run. And the babies can't run, so they're like, man, I want to get to where I can catch them. And so they have a lot more motivation. That's why they keep learning at rapid rates. If you learn too much, you will use up all your neurons. Raise your hand. LaKayla, what you think about that one? If you learn too much, you will use up all your neurons.
That's false.
That's definitely false. You don't use up neurons.
True. False.
She's already
False.
answered. I already said it's right. All right, that's true. I mean, that's false because you never use up your neurons. We already seen that in the chimpanzees, there were really old chimpanzees, and they were able to continue to grow, make new connections. A good way to strengthen your brain connections is to practice. Kayla?
True.
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 True. A good way to strengthen your brain connections is to practice. That's true. Because that's why we give you homework. Okay? Because we know that when we teach a new concept in the school, we don't expect you to know it right then.
To get it right.
But that's why we have to give you homework. Because that's all homework is practice. Okay? Over and over again. And then after some time, you get the concept. All right? Yes?
There's any more true and false?
No.
Yeah, I like the true and false ones. They fun.
Right, definitely. You like the true and false.
I was about instead of having
Unfortunately, though, that's the way they want you to go now, though, is they want you to be able to explain. Okay? Because when you have to explain, that means that you know it. Okay? When you true or false, you always have a 50% chance to be right. Okay? So that's why they want you to be able to explain. Now, for me, that's the one thing I can say about myself, that when I was in school, I like to explain stuff better than that true or false stuff. You know, because sometimes I used to get confused, man, when it was A, B, C, or D, or, you know, if it was true or false, that used to really confuse me. I would just rather go ahead and explain it, you know. That's just the way that I was. And I think that has helped me over the years. And now, that's what they want y'all to be able to do. They want the students to be able to explain. That's level 3, I think, when they're talking about the depth of knowledge. That's called level 3. It's 4 levels, and they want us to get these kids up to 3 or 4. So, yep, you have to be able to explain.
What level am I?
Well, I don't know, because sometimes I try to give you, sometimes I give you DOK 3, and sometimes I give you DOK 2, you know. So it just depends, and I'm trying to see how far you can get with that. All right? Anybody have any questions? Yes?
Let me answer one more question.